who's Arabic, she did one of our teachers who speaks Spanish, she did one, a welcoming message that Mrs. Bauer, the principal, wrote, that they speak in their language so that they can feel more welcome in the school. And I'm stumbling over my words, but anyway, you know what I mean. So they get to hear this, and it says, welcome to BS 153, we're so happy to have you, blah, blah. And then a packet of activities that they can do that are translated, and a map of what the things in the classroom are, you know. Here's the bookcases. So we're really, really proud of that. The other thing we did was we asked our students to create in art form flags from their home countries, and that's it was originally to be displayed right in the foyer when you walk in. Something happened, and so now we kind of have them in places around the building, and we're working on getting them all in the lobby. But when you first walk in, you'll see this mirage of, you know, different cultures through the flags. Another thing we implemented was the morning announcements. Every morning, Mrs. Bauer says, "Good morning," you know, the weather is this and that. So we ask each students of the month come. We ask each child if they can say good morning in their home language, and most of the time, somebody can say good morning in their home language. So we can say good morning. And each child says their home language, good morning. If they don't, you don't have a second language, home language, we have a list of languages of the cultures in our school, and we attempt to say good morning in another language. I like to pick the ones that I can phonetically figure out. But we're doing that every day since school started, and the kids get really excited. And of course, we put signs around the building. The main office is in 3 languages. The nurses, you know, how to get to the nurse's office. The staircase signs that say up and down, and the doors that say up and down have signs that are translated so that people are comfortable with getting around the building. We did a book of the month with a cultural book called Everybody Cooks Rice. And it was a story about a girl who has a culture, you know, lives in a neighborhood with many cultures, and everybody cooks rice in different ways. So it was giving them an understanding of various cultures that are, you know, that have traditional foods and things like that. So that was something else we did. We also have a grant to automate our school library. And when that is starting to occur now, we're going to have a multilingual section, and the librarian is going to use some of the library funds to purchase non-fiction books in our home languages, so that parents and kids can come to the library and take out books that will support content area in their home languages. So we're working on that one. And we're also implementing the translanguaging work from the guide that's been implemented in the classrooms of our teachers who are on our team, and we hope to turnkey that into the whole school. And our Spanish literacy after-school program, since the research says that we support home language literacy, it will help support literacy overall. So we do have an after-school program of about 25 kids whose native language is Spanish, and the Spanish teacher is working with them on improving their Spanish literacy. And then, of course, we're assessing it, and we're going to be monitoring it and see how their reading levels are improving in English as well. I'm done.
So if we can move to the next person.
So I come from PS 170. I represent PS 179, which is in Kensington, Brooklyn, and we have a numerous amount of languages spoken in our school. At least I would say 9 that are main languages. Uzbeki being one of them, that we were getting a great influx. And thanks to CUNY, we have embraced so many new programs in our school to embrace the multilingual ecology. One of the things that we started also was going off a little bit of the welcome pack. We had a survey that we started to translate in the different languages just to assess the children on what they know, because we don't know. They come in, we don't know if they had any schooling in their country, so it's a survey with some basic questions to see if they've had any formal schooling. We also created a wall that's in our main office and is also in our parent center, which has all our languages listed and the main questions that we think that the parents are coming there for, and then they're translated into the different languages. So when they come into the office, we can point and then sit down instead of constantly pulling the translator. We also have invested money on these mantra lingua pens, which they offer a sheet of all common phrases that might be needed, and then you press the language and it speaks to the parent and it says, oh, I need my child, or mom is coming, or where is mom, and it says it in that home language. We also invested money in a phone system, which is not only for the English because we wanted more parent involvement, but we have our paraprofessionals who speak all the different languages, so we have them translating the message, so when it goes home in the home language that is on ATS. We've also been using translation in the classroom. In our pilot classroom, which are the team members, is to have word walls that have different, so they have word, which there's a example on by our post, there's the word is then listed in the languages spoken in that classroom, and then there's a sentence and a picture. We have also we have invested money also in the multilingual libraries, so that we have most of the languages spoken in our school, some of them more difficult to find. I jotted down something, sorry. We also have then the cards. Main words we have had children and parents, the main words that we need to speak to the children with, like mom, dad, family, me, and we have them in the different languages on hand to the teachers, so if they need those words. We have Rosetta Stone for the parents, parent workshop, so that they can come in and learn English in the mornings and in the afternoons. We are embracing the trans language from the book, also like in those pilot sessions, when we have the kids do accountable talk, we have them turn and talk, we have them partnered up with their native language buddies, and they get to speak in their native language to them, and then the other person will translate. And some of the activities that we're doing, for example, one of the teachers did an activity that was how many ways can we write the number 9? And one of the ways was in their language, so that was represented there as well. They also did that for the math and through all the content areas. And then one of the other teachers did, we were doing holiday shows. So when they say 1, 2, 3, ready, like to get them started, we have the classes doing it in the languages spoken in class. So they say 1, 2, 3 in the language, and they all get excited. And yesterday it was funny because I walked in on one, and one of the kids said, "Oh, Polish is similar. It's similar to Russian. It's the same, almost the same." So they realize the similarities and they have fun doing it. So we are trying to embrace many different things in the classroom and being more aware of letting the children speak in their native language and express themselves in their native language, so that they feel that comfort and they don't have to feel that it's something that, oh my God, I don't, and they sit there shyly and not speak at all. So there are so many things, but right now my mind is blank, so I'm going to pass the microphone.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Maria Andreatti. I'm a principal at Medford Elementary. And so anybody who knows me knows two things. As an Italian American, I speak with my hands. And I use visuals. So I just put something together that you can look at while I speak, if you would not mind. Is that good? All right, and just go from here. Okay. So Medford Elementary is in Suffolk County, New York. It's a school of about 600 students. Of the 600, about 40% of my students are either currently classified as emergent bilingual or they have exited via the NYSIEB. When I got to Medford, the school was first year corrective action. When I got there a year ago, thankfully with the help of what we've instituted from CUNY and some other changes we've made, we're off that dreaded list, so that was a good thing. Well, that's very kind, thank you. So My main focus when I got to Medford, and it was quite easy because my staff is phenomenal and they're very dedicated to the children, was to really focus on making everyone feel valued and really forming those relationships, or that getting that emotional capital from teachers, so that when it came time to institute a project, they were 100% behind it, and I couldn't be prouder of them. So one of the goals we had was, as the other ladies have said, to make people feel comfortable by them seeing their language when they come into the building. And really at Medford, Spanish is our other language. We really don't have a multitude. We have Spanish, and again, it's 40% of my kids. So we engaged in a labeling project, and that's just an example. Pretty much, Regina will tell you, every surface in my building is pretty much labeled in 2 languages. And then in addition to that, our next step was to engage our parents. One of the things that we did, because we found parent participation on the part of our Spanish parents at the majority of our events, wasn't what we wanted, and language was a barrier. So with the help of the PTA, we now utilize translation devices at all of our events. And the fantastic part about it is I didn't have to buy it, and actually every public library has it. So with the help of the PTA and a contact that works at the library, we now utilize these devices. It's similar to the ones used at the UN. So everyone gets an earpiece, it's fairly innocuous, and a translator speaks into it, and in real time they have translation of what's going on. And parent participation in events has dramatically increased because of it. Another thing that we did, as the ladies have talked about, is purchase Rosetta Stone. And this is what I'm proudest of, because I'm proudest of my staff. I have about 40 staff members who've engaged in learning Spanish as a result of Rosetta Stone, and that is to better communicate with the kids, better communicate with the parents. And we reserved 10 of those licenses for parents, and that next slide is just what you see when you log into Rosetta Stone. So we offer it as a lottery to our dual language classes, which we have K4. Parents the opportunity to get into the lottery so that they can either get a license in Spanish or a license in English, and so we've assigned those licenses. The next thing we did was really focus on improving family literacy. There isn't a parent who doesn't want to help their child, but sometimes things get in the way, and for a lot of the parents of my emergent bilinguals, that's literacy. They can't read in their home language, let alone in English. So one of the things that we did, we took $17,000 of the grant and not only purchased bilingual books for the classroom, but books that we would use in literacy nights with parents. We're beginning Spanish parent reading groups, where the groups are diverse in that people who need to learn how to read will work with certain teachers, people who are somewhat proficient. All right, we've leveled it, kind of like reading groups in your classroom. And then people who are proficient readers in their own language, they're either working with struggling readers or they're engaging in reading high-level books. And this is just some of the examples of literature we've purchased. I think with this economy the last few years, there's not a school anywhere that hasn't been touched by people struggling to pay the bills and get things done. The Family Resource Center at Medford was actually there before I got there. It was started by my teachers, it's staffed by my teachers. They have an emergency food pantry, and they offer free tutoring to parents and students on Wednesday nights. And parents and students take full advantage of that, which is nice to see. That's just some photos of that. And then the last piece is, with the training that we received from CUNY, we've really pushed the translanguaging. We started with training the dual language teachers in it so that they were better able to do it in the classroom. And now, because I have as many staff members as I do learning Spanish, it's going on in the other classrooms as well, which is nice. And then these are just some pictures of student work, which are also hanging on that poster. So that's it. And I would just like to thank the ladies and everyone at CUNY, because they've helped us tremendously.